Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Villa, No Filler. Please subscribe if you hate the Blues and like if you don't like West Brom as well. But hey, if you love Aston Villa, subscribe too. That's what it's all about on this podcast. Now, thought I'd do a little update because the summer series squad has been announced. We've seen pictures of the lads all doing the big thumbs up. They're all very happy. And who wouldn't be to be flying away from this terrible weather in the UK out to the United States of America? Hopefully they don't have to go through JFK Airport, which I went through not so long ago. And as I went through there, it was a 4.5 hour wait in security, 4.5 hours to get through security after a 6.5 hour flight. So security was almost as long as the flight, and there was hardly anybody there. So why that happened, I don't know, but I thought I had to rant about that somewhere, and I chose to do it here. Anyway, hopefully the Villa players don't have to endure that, having flown in from Birmingham Airport today. Now, let's take a look at some of the squad. One of the key names I've noticed isn't there, Yonderan. £70 million signing, 19 years of age, Colombia, one of the top young prospects to come out of Colombia for quite a while. Him and Juan Pablo Angel, son of the top two that I'm aware of. Now, Yonderan, he's raw, isn't he? He's Monday Night Raw, as in WWE. So he's come onto the pitch a few times and bullied a few defenders around, and he's looked, at times that he's got something, but he's only getting 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and maybe that'll be enough. Maybe he'll kick on and work it out from there, or maybe there's a loan in the offing for him. So I would not say for sure that he's not gone out to the US because he's going definitely on loan. He may have an injury. He didn't feature against Warsaw. I haven't seen it reported he has an injury, but that may be the case. But if he were to go on loan and find that he gets 65 minutes, 70 minutes, 90 minutes instead of getting 15 and 20, that might be a good thing for him. And perhaps he'll come back in a year as a more complete player. So that could be in the offing, I would say, for Yonderan, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying it's for certain. Otherwise, as well, one other key name that didn't appear, Timo Werner. Now, he played against Warsaw, had a couple of really good moments. He was a key player for QPR last season, even though that club was a bit of a basket case. But he was impressive there. And look, you're in the Championship, you're 19 years of age, and you're playing centre midfield most weeks. You've got to have a high level of intelligence and game awareness to do that. So he's clearly a player of high ability. He's already made it to the Premier League because he's had minutes in the Premier League. So he's made it further than 99.9% of players will ever make it in their careers. But of course, is he going to play there regularly? He's still very young. Maybe Unai Emery has looked in that centre midfield zone, seen how competitive it is, and decided that maybe a Robinham could do with another year again of development. But maybe there's an injury we're not aware of. I was surprised not to see him on the list. But if he were to go on loan again, well, won't be the worst thing for him, is it? That's all, will it? He'll just get better and better. Maybe he'll play for a team that's more coherent and better than QPR have been in the last year. But yeah, I think he's a player who can get to a high level. I rate Robinham very highly, and I just look forward to seeing what happens with him. I did wonder this season whether he'd stick around because, you've got Tielemans and Douglas Luiz as a bit of a light for light. Then you've got Dendoncker and Kamara, but I think Robinham's closer to Kamara than Dendoncker is. Dendoncker is he's been linked away. There's been reports that Villa will accept the bid if it comes in, particularly with League One clubs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, a couple of other young players that caught my eye on the list was Kaden Young. Every time I've seen him playing friendlies in the Emirates and against Warsaw, very confident player, very direct, very skillful, not afraid to put himself about. Similar to Jaden Philogene, but the difference with Philogene is Jaden's had that year at Cardiff, so has been kicked around by the big lads down in the Championship. Maybe Kaden Young needs to go and do that for another year, and he's younger than Jaden as well. Philogene did well at Cardiff by all accounts. I'm interested to see how much he plays out in the US. Plays against Premier League opposition. Is he a player that Emery perhaps looks at and thinks that's somebody who can provide some competition? That's a player I can work on. At the moment, the only competition there is Leon Bailey. Bailey's not consistent. Sometimes he's a 10 out of 10, but he ain't that too often, is he? He's hard to predict. And it's also been reported twice in Sportsmail that Aston Villa will accept the bid if it comes in. So we shall see. We shall see. But something else I'm also interested to see while we're out there is the defence. Pau Torres will almost certainly make his debut out there. Sam Tai, he's been on this podcast before for TIFO Football, has done a really good report today that's gone out today on how sort of Villa's new signings might impact the team. Torres is the one that leaves the most question marks for me. He's a player you sign, as Sam Tai said in that piece, that you sign as a player who keeps possession, who is good on the ball, who dribbles past opposition. He's a Spanish international. He's won the Europa League. He's featured in the Champions League. So, and Unai Emery's managed him before. So Emery clearly identifies in him something that this Villa team doesn't currently have. Now, if Villa play 60 games this season, is it possible, if we go far in Europe, is it possible that Mings and Pau Torres sort of go in and out the team together? Right? Maybe. Both left-sided centre-backs. So, maybe in a game against somebody like Bournemouth at home, Emery decides we need to take it to them. We need to be more dominant in possession. And perhaps Pau Torres is the option you go for there. But then if you go away, it's a big hard, you're at Luton, they're heading the ball, they're doing all that, maybe Tyrone Mings is that bit of physicality you want instead. I don't know. I don't think it's always great to be in and out the team. It's hard to keep your form going. But so, 4 centre-backs, got Carlos, Mings, Concert and Torres. Not a Premier League team and that won't be looking at that and going, I wish we had that. Other than, a City or something. That's a very strong back line. Great options, different types of players. Will Torres and Mings play together? Will Mings move to the right, play more on his right foot? And then maybe Concert will go out to right back quite often to compete with Cash? Or does Carlos come in? That's why I'm intrigued to see what happens at this summer series. It sounds like a WWE event, doesn't it? The summer series, where Tyrone Mings lays the smackdown on Newcastle players. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens there, how that defense is going to be structured out in the US. So yeah, there we go. What else? There's a video of the North Stand redevelopment. It showed an update of the Whitton station, which I had not seen before. Please correct me if that's been out there before, because I haven't seen it. So, it looks great. It has what looks like a bit of a Wembley way going straight to the North Stand, which I don't currently identify with that area. The way I go there is sort of a looped way around. So, a straight direct route would look great. The local community obviously has to be in communication with this because they're the people it impacts the most. And transport as well obviously has to be sorted as Villa progress to a 50,000-seater stadium and to having, social, the warehouse there, Villa Live in the long term. I'm very excited by it. I think it would be great to have new facilities that we can all hang out in. Microbrew is great. Why is that not a good thing? And then the North Stand itself, it's heart to back to, Villa's tradition with the red brick. That's what we're about. That's what we look like. I love that. It's not that boring bowl effect that you get with a lot of teams. It will still be a very individual stand, which I like, even though it will be connected up with the Doug Ellis and with the Trinity Road. But it just looks great, doesn't it? I'm very excited about it. And if if the Whitton station is updated, Birmingham Council get into gear, and if the transport's sorted, I'm very, very excited to see what comes of that. Look, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. I love doing this podcast. I love meeting Villa fans. Please comment below, say what you got to say, and hey, up the mighty Villa.